Hi everyone, today we're answering clients' questions. So today's question is, do I have an advantage over other people because I'm a psychic intuitive medium? Well, sometimes I absolutely positively do. But I want to caution you that just because I do what I do and I do it well for other people, that doesn't mean that I get access to everything myself for myself. I'm pretty much just a regular Joe. I like a nice steak, a scotch. Occasionally I drop an F-bomb, hopefully not in your reading, that kind of thing. But when it comes to the knowing about the little things, I'm here to live a regular life like you are. I'm here to have the human experience. So I don't always have access to it. But there are other occasions where I absolutely 100% have access to it. And I have such a strong faith in what I do and who I am. And today I'm going to share one of those stories with you from my life of things that other people find interesting, odd, etc. That kind of thing. So today's story is going back quite a bit. It is when my daughter was 8, and we were on a family vacation with my mom. And we were at a cottage on Salt Spring Island in Canada, on St. Mary's Lake. And when we went to the cottage, about 3 days before, I had what I call almost like Chinese water torture, or this niggling feeling that something felt impending, like this weight. And I've learned to really pay attention to that. But at the time, I can't say that I knew as much as I do today about it. So it literally was like almost like drip, drip, drip. And I found myself the whole entire 3 days before what happened, oddly going over emergency services procedures. We're talking broken leg, we're talking heart attack, we're talking tourniquets, we're talking impaled while we're fishing on the lake, we're talking almost drowning, here I am going for rides, and I'm literally like looking to see where the little tiny local clinic hospital is on the island and timing it on my car, these kind of things, right? And that is very odd for me. I'm not a worrywart in that way at all. I've always lived very comfortably, and I am like, oh my God, I'm like stalwart when it comes to emergency situations. So it bothered me quite a bit, and it bothered me so much that I was actually agitated, where here I am supposed to be having a nice vacation. And so usually me, when I go on vacation, my plan is to have a nice dinner and a nice bottle of wine, especially sitting on the deck looking at the lake. I'm human. And so I poured myself a glass of wine before the incident happened with my mom, and I got nothing. I'm kind of a lightweight when it comes to alcohol, but I got nothing. So then I poured myself a second glass of wine, and I still got nothing. But I kept having this impending feeling, right? And so what I've learned over the years is that when something is coming and I try to get drunk, I can't. So that's always a sign for me. I now know that. Didn't know that then. So the thing is that dinner came around on I believe it was the 4th day, and I had made some steak shish kebabs, and my mom was sitting at the table, and we were chatting, a bunch of us, and all of a sudden, in the middle of this chatter, my world went very silent and almost like a myopic focus, almost tunnel vision, and all of a sudden, it was like this ping went off, and I knew to be very present and very aware and almost like a tingly feeling. And I turned towards my mom, and even though she looked very calm, I knew something was wrong. And I looked at her, and she kind of like was trying to swallow. I could see her throat move. And I said to her, "Mom, are you choking?" And all she could do was nod. And very calmly I said, "Can you swallow anything?" And she started to get fear in her eyes. And so she picked up the water glass, and she went to take the drink of water. And as she did it, she put it in her mouth, and it all just fell out of her mouth onto her shirt because it was impeded. It couldn't actually go down. She had swallowed a piece of steak, and it had become lodged there. And so panic ensued around the table. So this gentleman who was with us, he wanted to help, and I literally pushed him out of the way. I said no. and incredibly calm, I took my mom over to the sink. I explained to her how I was going to do the Heimlich maneuver. The Heimlich maneuver. Okay, I've never researched the Heimlich maneuver. I don't recall ever studying it, but I was at that moment a complete authority on it, and I explained all the different things. I explained the process. I explained to her that I would do it at increasing velocity so that I didn't break her ribs, etc., that kind of thing, and I proceeded to do the Heimlich maneuver. I had to do it the second time, just like I told her I probably would, and she ended up vomiting it in the sink. It was this large piece, and it was so stuck that she lost her voice for almost 3 days. And so that is an example, a perfect example. I literally saved my mom's life that day of me knowing this impendingness, this danger coming, this ultimate knowing in connection to spirit that I cannot deny. And just so you know, when I was finished, I went out on the deck, I poured myself a glass of wine, and halfway through a glass, I was loopy. So I knew my job was done. I knew I was free of this impending doom feeling that I get. And so I now know, many, many years later, because my daughter was 8 back then, I know many, many years later to really, really pay attention to that impending feeling, that agitation, that almost Chinese water torture, drip, drip, drip feeling. And I now know to embrace that experience and to absolutely walk through it. But when it comes to regular Joe life, like you, the regular stuff, I can't say that I have any more advantage than you do because I am here to live a human life. But when it comes to really super important things, I know I'm absolutely positively connected. So hopefully that answers your question. Thanks for writing in. If you would like to do an Ask Angela question, feel free to go to my website of withangela.com and write us a question, and your answer may appear in a video.